Okay, hey guys, and welcome to my episode 5 review discussion for Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm so excited to talk about this episode, especially since it's the episode right before the season finale, and this episode was fantastic as usual. I don't know why anything would have changed. It would be so bad if this episode was the only bad one leading into the season finale, or if just this episode and episode 6 would be bad. But no, it's fantastic quality television. Not just, I love when I watch something that's like kind of comic book, superhero based or inspired at least. And it is just great television. I just love this show. I love this show so much. And by the way, sorry by the way if this discussion is like a bit less edited than usual. I'm trying to get this video up so I can go back to Justice Con, which is happening right now. But you know what? How are you guys doing? I had a great week actually, because, which I'm so happy about. I don't know if you heard, but Warrior got a season 3 for HBO Max, and I'm just so ecstatic, especially since I just made that video. I'll link it somewhere. But I really just like watched Warrior season 1 and 2 and loved it so much, made a video, put it up, and then a few days later it gets renewed. And I know a lot of people have been talking about Warrior, but it was just so like, wow, I just did this. So happy about that. Oh my gosh, I love that show. I feel like it can become one of my favorite shows. But we are not talking about Warrior. We are talking about the Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 5. And by the way, I got up super early to watch this episode, so I didn't even see the episode title. But it's called Truth, which I think is a great title. All these titles, let me look up the titles. By the way, again, no notes. It's just a informal discussion about my thoughts, feelings, emotions on the episodes. And I'll do like a bit more organized finals, like season finale, season in general review. But all I have is I'm looking at Wikipedia and just looking at like the titles of all the episodes, and also like a little summary, so in case I forget something, I like kind of glance over. I'm like, oh, I didn't talk about that yet. But I like all the episode titles. Episode 1 was New World Order. Episode 2 was The Star-Spangled Man. 3 was Power Broker. 4 is The Whole World Is Watching. Great title again. And then 5 was Truth. Simple, but fantastic. Let's just get into this review. I'm sorry for the long intro. By the way, my name is Destiny. I love to talk about all my favorite TV shows and movies and share my thoughts and opinions with you guys. And hopefully you guys like talking to me. I hope so if you're watching this video. Okay, but let's get into this discussion. And by the way, I just go in order of the episode. I think when I review the season in general, maybe I'll go like in order of characters or themes. I don't know. I'll organize it differently. But with these discussions, I just go order of the episode. So we start off, of course, with Sam and Bucky taking the shield from Walker. I am so glad they finally took the shield. It's so funny to me that before Bucky had suggested taking the shield from Walker way in the beginning, of course Sam has said no to that. But honestly, I mean, I'm like, man, you should have taken it before he got like the super soldier serum. Yeah, but Walker is on the run with the shield with the blood on it. Every time I look at it, oh god, it was just so awful. And you know what's so crazy is that Walker, again, I really do like, I was gonna mention this later, but I do like that they didn't make John Walker a white supremacist or just full-on racist, because I feel like then it wouldn't be a nuanced conversation. And that's kind of it's what I said like last week, where I hope they're not going to make it so that the serum makes people crazy, because I feel like that's just a cop-out. It's such a cop-out. And I feel like maybe the Carly defenders would like that, but I don't. I don't like John Walker, and I don't like Carly either. I am on neither side here. I don't know why people are like picking sides between these two people like they have to. You do not have to choose a side. If anyone, you should be supporting Sam. Sam and Bucky. Like, it's called the Falcon and Winter Soldier for a reason, guys. But I'll get into that later. But I love that this episode is the episode that Sam truly becomes Captain America. I know last episode I said he is Captain America, and he is, and the way he acts and the way he holds himself, and he is Captain America. But I like with this episode, he picks up the mantle because he chooses to do so. I'll get into that more later, but I love that aspect. But what I find so funny from Walker is that, again, I know his friend just died, and he's thinking about Lamar saying, like, oh, you always know how to make the right decision in the heat of battle. I'm like, obviously you don't, because that was not the right decision in the heat of battle. But it's so, oh my, it's just so interesting that Walker, instead of saying, oh, I didn't make the right decision, like, what did I just do? He really just, with that flashback, he just affirms himself, oh no, I made the right decision. I went after the person who killed Lamar, even though I didn't kill the person who killed Lamar. Okay, but this fight, I'm so glad they started off the episode this way, because I thought it was going to take the whole episode to get the shield back. But this fight was intense. Like, I was actually so scared, especially just what happened to Lamar. Like, Sam is the only one who's not enhanced, so I was like, so, oh my god, I was so nervous. I was going to see someone gravely injured again. And I mean, so I guess someone did get gravely injured, but it was Walker, because they actually had to break his arm to get the shield off of him, which I thought, I love this show for just going there, you know, and the fact that they had to break his arm, again, having to team up against them, and oh, wow. And there was also, after that fight, there was a great moment between Sam and Bucky, and I really feel like both Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie, you know, the MVPs of the show, especially Anthony Mackie, he is Captain America now. Oh my god. Oh, I hope I'm not gonna like nerd out this whole discussion, because man, I just feel like when Sam Wilson shows up in like the movies now in like the full Captain America gear, even though he'll have like a different suit and get into that more later, I am going to, oh my, I'm gonna lose it. It's just gonna be so amazing. It's gonna be always a great moment whenever he shows up. But Sam and Bucky have this great moment where Bucky picks up the shield. He's standing in the light. Great shot. Great cinematography in the show. But he's standing in the light and he like hands it down to Sam, but Sam won't take it at first. But no words were spoken, but you can clearly tell from Bucky's face, like, will you just take this now? Will you take this shield that Steve gave to you? Like, look at what happened. We went through all this because you gave it up. And you can tell that from his, basically that's what Bucky is communicating from his face. And it was just so heartbreaking when Sam picked up the shield and he's trying to wipe the blood off the shield. And I was just so, oh my, I'm like, why do I keep on starting off these episodes so sad? Like, I just realized that episode 4 started off with Bucky basically making, basically Bucky being like deprogrammed to make sure he's completely deprogrammed. And that was such an emotional scene. And this is also equally emotional. I felt so sad when Sam was wiping the blood off the shield. It was heartbreaking. And of course, Walker, honestly, well, it was on camera, I guess. So I guess, like, if it wasn't on camera, you know what? Actually, that's another point. Torres, when he goes to Sam, about that Sam has the shield, by the way, Torres, where have you been? But Torres, when he goes to Sam, he's like, oh, Captain America just killed a foreign national on camera. And the way he emphasized on camera, I'm like, what would happen if this didn't happen on camera? Can we, you know what, we know the answer, nothing. Man, that's actually really bad when you think about it. Oh, God, okay. So Walker, since, they actually caught his horrible deeds on camera, he is stripped of his honors, and he is not Captain America anymore. And I don't even know if they, like, the senators know that he took the serum. Because when he's walking out, they're like, oh, then give us the shield. I'm like, why didn't you secure the shield, like, there? Like, why wasn't he, like, required to bring in the shield? So if you don't even know that he doesn't have the shield anymore, you probably don't know that he's, like, he's enhanced now. By the way, with these Marvel shows, I do think they're going to be, like, more toned down. Like, the fact that Mephisto didn't show up in WandaVision, I just feel like if there's, like, a cameo or, like, oh, this character's going to show up, it's going to be, like, more toned down. They're going to save the big stuff for the movies, I think. So when I heard there was going to be some cameo of, like, an actor and a character who hasn't shown up yet, I thought, I was like, okay, keep my expectations low. And I think because I did that, I was pleasantly surprised when Julia Louis-Dreyfus showed up. Sorry if I said that so fast. And she is basically playing Madam Hydra. Like, I'm okay. I'm interested to see where this goes. I think that's actually kind of great casting in a way, especially even for the environment of the show. Like I know she comes from like comedy as well. Like with Veep. I mean Veep was like political comedy, right? I actually did not watch that, but I still felt like it was good casting, and she's Madam Hydra. And I just do want to say, I do not think that John Walker is going to join the Thunderbolts, which a lot of people are saying that the Thunderbolts are coming. I think they are because Zemo, he survived the show. I don't think he's going to show up in the finale. But I think the Thunderbolts are going to be run by Ross. So that's why I think Zemo's going to be with the Thunderbolts, because later on we see he's going to go to, the Raft. And man, this is getting too close to Suicide Squad, because come on, like if Ross runs like the Thunderbolts out of like the people who come to the Raft, that's basically like what the Mandalorian does with Belle Reve and Suicide Squad. I'm like, guys, I know everything in comics is already so close, but that is, come on, like DC actually did it first, come on. But yeah, with Madam Hydra, I don't think she's going to be running the Thunderbolts because it's just too evil. I don't know how to explain it. But maybe, I don't know. I don't feel like John Walker is going to join the Thunderbolts just because I feel like the Thunderbolts is, again, kind of like Suicide Squad, where you can, like, they're anti-heroes and they used to be villains and they're trying to like maybe be better but also not, like in the gray zone like this whole show has been saying. But I also love this scene where Zemo finally, he goes to the monument memorial for Sokovia, and Bucky shows up, and I wonder how long was Zemo standing there, because he was like, oh, I thought you'd get here sooner. And sometimes when it's just so funny, I see so many scenes like that, and sometimes I wonder how long were you actually standing there, like just sulking or like brooding, thinking, whatever, just to like make that point of like, oh, I thought you'd be here sooner. Such a like villain anti-hero-ish thing to do. I love Zemo, actually, man. It's so funny how this show actually made people like Zemo, but I see it. I definitely see it. I like Zemo now, and I would like to see him in the Thunderbolts. But I thought it was so... By the way, Sebastian Stan, Bucky, he looks so good in this scene. The styling, the cheekbones, the jawline, everything was great. But I thought this was also a fantastic scene because there's like this wonderful moment, well, not a wonderful moment, but a great moment where it seems like Bucky is going to kill Zemo, but the way he it turns out to be either just empty or like not a blank. No, so it's just an empty, because a blank actually would like. By the way, do people realize that this tangent? But do people realize if you actually shot a blank like that close to someone, it actually would still hurt them? So it would be empty. It was an empty gun, but he still shoots it. And I just love the look on Bucky's face when he kind of smiles and said, man, Sebastian Stan, so great because you can just see so much communicated in just one look. But I just felt here that he just affirming to himself and to Zemo that he's not this killer that Zemo keeps on trying to say that he is, and that he's not like this uncontrollable, like, oh, he's gonna quickly go back into the Winter Soldier lifestyle or whatever. No. And then he even like that's the shot of like the bullets raining down from his hand, and then he turns over Zemo to the Dora Milaje. So, but then Dora Milaje say that he's going to the Raft. That's why I'm like, oh, is he going to be with Ross and the Thunderbolts? Like, are we going to see that? But I actually thought that was a great scene because I don't know why Zemo was like, oh, I crossed my name out of your book, because I feel like Zemo was on the side of the people who have wronged Bucky, not like you've wronged me, but okay. I also thought it was great when Zemo said goodbye, James, again affirming that he has his humanity, he is a person, he's not the Winter Soldier, he's not just a soldier. And I thought it was like that mutual respect, between villain and hero, or anti-hero kind of and hero now. So I love that scene. It was so short, but I loved it. And actually, this is where I think that Sam gives by the way, did I even mention that Walker ripped off the wings of the Falcon suit? I I was so mad. That's how I was. I think also so stressed. I'm like, what is going to happen in this scene? I was so stressed this entire scene. But he gives like the damaged, wings to Torres, and the whole time I'm like, new Falcon? Because I don't know if did I mention this in my first review? I actually don't know. But Torres actually is Falcon. In the comics, he becomes Falcon. But I do think the most impactful scene in this whole show is when Sam goes to visit Isaiah Bradley again. I'm glad that one scene, in I think episode 2? I can't remember now. It's all blending together. But I'm glad that wasn't the only time that we saw Isaiah Bradley. But Isaiah and Sam, they have this conversation because Sam, is trying to understand. And by the way, I do like that more of Sam's, kind of counseling history and therapy has been coming to these last few episodes, because again, in the beginning, I wasn't sure why that wasn't emphasized. I'm like, are they going to erase that part of his history? But I'm glad they did not. And I'm glad, and again, that's another reason I'm like, you're such a perfect Captain America. I love you, Sam. I love you, Sam. I feel like I've been so hard on Sam in some aspects in earlier episodes, but I do love Sam. But I feel like I've been, you know what? Later on when they do the whole tough love thing, I'm like, I love Sam, but I'm like, Sam, do you like believe in yourself? So that's why I was so mad at him earlier. But when Sam and Isaiah are talking, he is just so, I don't know what the word is, but Isaiah is saying that it's basically parallel to what Captain America did there, that there was they were experimenting on black men that had like different kind of types of the serum, but there was a situation where Isaiah went and rescued the experiments, what they were referenced as, but those are his brothers in arms, his fellow soldiers. So he rescues them, but his treatment is that he's jailed, experiment on more, and it's just an interesting parallel to Isaiah Bradley did the same thing Steve Rogers did, but he's treated in such a different way. And when Sam, you can just tell from the look on Sam's face and even like when he's in jail, he never received letters from, was it his wife or fiance? But he never received her letters, and she was just told that he was dead. So of course Isaiah Bradley feels the way he feels and thinks the way he thinks. I think is very warranted. And I think it was a very powerful thing to say that a black man would never be Captain America. Isaiah Bradley is saying this, but no self-respecting black man would ever want to be. And I'm like, oh my God. It's just, God, man, I just love this show. I love the conversations it's having, but I also like showing the different, I also like that it's showing why Isaiah Bradley feels the way he feels and thinks the way he thinks, but why Sam still wants to, later on that he realized he still wants to be the change. He still wants to make a change. He still wants to keep fighting because he is still able to. And I think that's so fantastic. I think it's so great. But before he comes to this, I guess, kind of decision, I guess we get kind of like a break in the story where he goes home and fixes the family boat and calls on the community because, his mom has helped like so many people in the community. I thought it was great. And that was when Bucky showed up again. And by the way, I thought it was so hilarious. And also kind of great when Bucky and Sarah are flirting. I don't know who actually started the flirting, but I'm like, are they flirting? Is she like looking at Bucky? Because I saw Sarah kind of like looking at Bucky, and when Bucky flirted back, like even in front of Sam, I'm like, Bucky, what are you doing? But I actually thought that was great too, because that was another thing I noted in my earlier reviews, is that Bucky in the Captain America First Avenger, he was such like a ladies man and just confident in who he is, and it's such a contrast to that first date in episode 1 where he's just kind of awkward. He's even not just in dating, but in just living civilian life. So I feel like he's more at peace now that, again, he talked to Zemo, and he got the shield back for Sam. And I do love that he called in a favor with the Dora Milaje in Wakanda to make a suit for Sam, which we all know is a suit in that big case. And I just love that both these characters are coming into who they are. I do also love this next scene where Sam and Bucky are kind of really practicing with the shield, but just kind of like playing toss with the shield. And I love their, and again, another scene of where Sam's past counseling history is coming into play, and I just love that, because I think he says a really important thing to Bucky where he says making amends is not for you. It's to make the person you are making amends to feel better, not for you to feel better. Most times you won't feel better because it's actually a very hard thing to do. And I just know, I mean, I hope we're all thinking, but I just know we're all thinking of the older man in episode 1 who it turns out that Bucky as the Winter Soldier killed as collateral, and he still doesn't even know what happened to his son. So I just, oh man, that's going to be a tough scene. It's going to be tough, just like what Sam said, but it was great, tough love advice. And oh, by the way, I do like that, for even just a quick moment, I do like that Bucky acknowledged that I think he literally said, like, Steve and I did not think what it would mean for a black man to carry the shield. And it was such a quick line, but I'm glad he acknowledged that that he did not understand, basically. And most people don't apologize for things like that. And by the way, I saw so many things on Twitter. By the way, follow me on Twitter. It's a fun time on there. Maybe I'll follow you back. I don't know. Sometimes I actually don't see when people follow me. I'm sorry. But I try to follow people back. But I do like, it was funny when I saw this on Twitter, that basically that scene where, you know, Bucky's in the blue shirt, I think, and Sam is in that gray sweater, and they're leaving each other and like departing. I was really hoping that Bucky will be like, oh, see you later, Captain America, and Sam will be like, oh, see you, White Wolf. I don't know. But it was funny because I saw that on Twitter and people were saying that would be how the show would end. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of glad that actually wasn't the ending, but I really wish he had said, see you, Captain America. That would have been, oh, it would have made my day. And I love that, again, there's so many montages in this episode. And Sam has another training montage of him really training with the shield. And this time he's kind of like really kind of messing up a lot. But I feel that it's because he's training with the shield in like an actual combat situation, not just like throwing the shield around and passing over to Bucky and like, you know, tossing it back like a baseball or whatever. Like, he's actually training with the shield like as if he's like in combat, you know, making stressful situations. So we have a whole montage of him training. I thought it was so fantastic. And by the way, all the flips, I'm like, I really hope flips are now like incorporated into Sam being Captain America. Now that he doesn't have the wings, like he flips. He's a flippy person, and now like he has the knives. Oh my gosh, I love these characters. But by the way, Sharon is the power broker. I don't think Madam Hydra is a power broker. I just think because I heard that Madam Hydra wasn't supposed to show up until Black Widow, and I think they moved the scene. But I don't think Madam Hydra is power broker. I think it's very clear that Sharon is power broker, because at first I was like, oh, she could be kind of like, or she could at least like know power broker and like just doesn't care about like the implications of like what they're doing is bad because she's in manager port and she feels shaded. But I think she's the power broker because in another scene she is contacting Batroc, the person in the beginning of the entire show, saying like, oh, I helped you out that last time. So she was somehow involved in that. And now it's revealed she's helping the Flag Smashers, at least in their final, I guess, mission, because they're planning an attack on the GRC, and now they're in New York. Oh yeah, but I almost forgot to mention, I thought in the montage when Sam was training with the shield, I thought it was so great when one of his nephews was like touching the shield and like tracing the star, and the way Sam like looked down on his nephew, I just really felt like that was really the moment where he knew he made the right decision to become Captain America. And again, when I mentioned earlier in this video, I love that, because I mentioned this on my last discussion where it's like, we know Sam is Captain America, we all know, but it's like he's the only one who doesn't know that he's so perfect to be Captain America. But I do like that through this episode, it really emphasizes that it's not just important that we know why, but that he is also choosing to pick up the mantle. He's choosing to be Captain America and to pick up the shield. And I think that's so fantastic. And also, I forgot almost another scene when His two nephews are playing with the shield, and Bucky is sleeping on the couch. And I thought it was great that he woke up to these two kids like playing with the shield. Like they're not jaded yet by the world, America really. And it was just such a sweet scene because it's just a contrast to Isaiah Bradley saying, "Oh no, self-respecting black man would ever be Captain America," and it's such a contrast because like with these kids, they're not thinking, "Oh, I could never be Captain America." They're thinking, "Oh, well, I'm assuming that, oh, this is just so cool." I mean, the shield is not a toy, so maybe they should play with it. But they're not thinking like, "Oh, I can never be Captain America." They're thinking, "Oh, that's so cool. Like, oh my gosh, my Uncle Sam is going to be Captain America, or he has a shield, or, you know, something." It's just so hopeful in comparison to the downtroddenness of Isaiah Bradley. Warranted. I do want to say it is warranted. I understand why he feels the way he feels. Now, the Flag Smasher. By the way, Carly is like fully going into like evil mode now. Like, she's like, "Oh, we're criminals. Even though we're working with criminals because we are criminals, we're going to attack the GRC." This is going to be a crazy finale. This is going to be insane. Because not only do you have the Flag Smashers, it is revealed in the mid-credit scene that Walker is building a new shield just from like scrap metals, and he's putting in his war metals into the shields somehow. And I thought it was going to be the classic kind of like black and red of the U.S. agent, but no, he's just making like a knockoff shield. He's still painting it like red and blue and I guess silver or whatever. And I'm like, dude, the original shield is made of vibranium. Like, I feel like people are forgetting that the shield is not just special because Steve Rogers carried it and became that symbol, but it's made of vibranium, and it was made by Howard Stark. Like, man, you guys, I saw so many funny things on Twitter about Walker making his new shield, and it's just gonna be so bad. So bad. We'll see what he's wearing too, because I mean, I hope they took away his Captain America suit. I hope he still doesn't have that. But I'm like, man, Sam has to fight like a knockoff Captain America because I guess he's not gonna go by U.S. agent because he's not having the colors. I really was hoping it would be black and red. But now he has the Flag Smashers, and maybe Sharon will come in. But I feel like Sharon isn't a person who is the power broker who wouldn't get directly involved. But this is going to be insanity, but I'm excited. I'm so excited. Honestly, next Friday is going to be great because it's the finale for the show and Mortal Kombat. Oh my gosh, I will review that as well. So it's going to be a great weekend next weekend. But yeah, that is my kind of, well, actually, I don't know if this was quick, but it was shorter than my other videos. But that is my kind of quick discussion of the main points of Truth, episode 5 of the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I love this episode and I love this show. Again, I love comic book shows that can be just top tier television. I love the writing in the show. I love the acting. Especially from like Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan. They are just the MVPs of this show, which they should be. It's named after them, obviously. But I love this, and I'm just so excited for the season finale. Like, what did you guys think of this episode? Did you like it a lot? I think most people I saw that, I guess I talked to, liked the episode, but they thought it was a bit slower. And I can see where they're coming from because of the kind of all the montages and the kind of like the break they had, like fixing the boat and everything. But I still really appreciate this episode, and I think the fixing the boat did go on a bit too long, but it didn't really influence my liking of the episode really for me, because it was still like good Sam and Bucky time. But I love this. What did you guys think? I just want to know, are you excited for the season finale as much as I am? Let me know down below. Like this video. Again, you know what? Follow me on Twitter. I'll plug my Twitter. And subscribe to the channel for more of my videos. And I'll see you guys later.